All right. Peace. Welcome, everyone. Sorry for the. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to apologize. I'm only going to apologize to myself. But, yeah, late one today. This will go out the day after. So it will be somewhat outdated, as in you're not going to catch the exact moves, but it's still a good journal for my end. Um, yeah, long story short, I actually left my laptop at work, so I had to go and grab it afterwards. And I went to the gym. Then I came back, had dinner, and now I'm here. So about 3 hours into London session, and yeah, I'm not really like if you catch something, you catch something, but it's not my aim. It is just simply chart the market like I always do. And yeah, without further ado, we will get straight into it. So we've got Euro USD coming into quite a bit of supply here, where we can always expect some form of rejection. So far, there's just no real return to zone. Good amount of inefficiencies though, but no real return to zone. Technically, this is our. Did we sweep something in here? But yeah, contextually speaking, we are in a pro accumulative environment, so we're in a confirmed accumulation, and we can expect price to go higher. But we do have some quite nice demand below us, where we can obviously expect price to mitigate. Um, yeah, so as much as contextually speaking, we're sort of counter context at the moment because we're in a confirmed accumulation. We're looking for a distribution, but if price allows us, or if confirmations allow us, then we can technically take it. Did we sweep this? Not quite. Not quite. And we have, I believe, a 15-minute OBIF here. However, this may have been mitigated on a slightly lower time frame, and it seems as if it may have. Yeah, it pretty much has. We can still leave it there, but yeah, even that's been mitigated. Yeah, kind of everything here, this whole move has been mitigated on a lower time frame, so it's not that. Unless we have some form of overlapping structure, which we may, but I would not count upon it, and no, we don't really. So yeah, everything here has been mitigated. You can kind of use this. It's not the cleanest though, is it? Yeah, you can pretty much use this. And this is kind of our only supplied POI at the moment for Euro USD. We have taken out Asia highs quite nicely. We didn't even take them out in Dreamland. Either lows are chilling here for now. And I am not interested in price behavior right now. Yeah, that's it for Euro USD. Let's have a look at GBP JPY. Obviously, we didn't actually have news, but I was watching the charts live when this happened. We just had random manipulation. Oh, not random. It was all due to our boy Trumpy, but yeah, he made a bit of noise online, and all of a sudden we get this big. It's just like like this is a 5-minute candle we're on right now. Look at the size of that. We've just ran through the supply. Yeah, so we're still we are technically speaking still in this pro accumulative environment. Now, if you've entered this, boy, what a ride you have had. You would have entered here on a very slight break. You would have been almost put in the negatives, but you're still in positives. Then you've just front run your TB if you are doing the set and forget, and now you're just kind of hovering here. So anything can happen at the moment. Anything can happen at the moment. We are in somewhat of a local downtrend. But it's just not confirmed as of yet. So yeah, right now for GBP USD, I'm kind of just chilling. Nothing really to take. I need to see what price does once it completes this range. Like, yeah, we have created demand below us. But for now, I am just waiting. Yeah, nothing more to be done here for GBP USD. Let's have a look at the Australian dollar against US dollar. We've nicely mitigated this 3-hour OBIF really nicely. We do have quite a bit of supply above us. We do have quite a bit of demand below us as well, so not to forget there. I would not be charting this as an accumulation, simply because we're technically still in an uptrend. We have not broken this downtrend. We've just SFP'd it, so if anything, there might be a local accumulation, but for now, I will not be taking any form of trade in here. I will just let price range and do its thing. And as a matter of fact, I'm kind of going to get rid of this. yeah, looking at it from a local perspective, we do have a 45-minute OBIF, which kind of creates this demand chain over here, showing the price is looking to bounce back up. And then even this demand has kind of swept, not kind of, it has swept these lows quite nicely. But yeah, I don't think AUD USD is going to start going down. I think it's forming some form of local bottom, I believe. I'm even going to show you how confident I really am. I have seen this before on the charts. I'm going to call in the big dog. Here he is, guys. Bang. If you got a name, let me know. But our man here is going to keep this chart up for the time being. So we'll see what happens there. We do have this local, very local range. The only thing I don't like here is that both Asia high and low has been taken, which is never a nice thing. We do have demand here. I don't think we'll have any extreme liquidity. I could be wrong. Technically, yeah, technically we do. This year we might be able to get some form of scalp, but if we get a clear confirmation, I will enter this with minimal risk, simply because there is such a key 45-minute OBIF below us, which you can expect to get mitigated. technically speaking, this is supply, but it's not that clean. The only other thing I'm interested in is how it sits with our volume profile. Yeah, it doesn't really sit with our volume profile, so this supply for me is kind of pointless in a way. Yes, we might get a little reaction, but we're not going to get a big reaction. Given this, if I get a confirmation, then I am not afraid to take a long with this supply here. So that is my. We are building a very local time frame distribution model at the moment. That is to be noticed, but yeah, purpose of this distribution could be to mitigate these extremes, sweep and mitigate these extremes. So yeah, we got our alert set, and as I said, my other thing, you have to be wary of this 45-minute demand below us. But if we get the confirmations, we get the confirmations. The only other thing I don't really like is the range. We've been ranging for 6 hours and 20 minutes. But yeah, let's move on to our next pair. What is going on here? Plenty of drawings. Let's see. Plenty of supply above us. And how long did I draw this supply for? And I need you more than ever. And I need you more than ever. This does look like structure supply to me for now. Is it valid? We will find out. Yeah, just. This is valid structure supply. And we might actually have some here. Should definitely pay attention. Just. Yeah, like it's valid. This is valid structure supply. So you can expect a reaction. And we got a reaction. Look at that. That is exactly why I'm getting up close to this. This is why it's so important to go down to the minutes, because your average retail trader looking at this, or just looking at an empty chart and they just see a clean reaction off this, they're not going to see this. The average retail trader sees this. They just see that. I wonder why. Why did we randomly, oh no, price is dumping. Somehow someone's selling. No. Look, someone's selling their position. No one's selling their position. You've just hit a supply block of sell orders which have just been actioned or filled, if you want to use that terminology. So that is a perfect reaction. Couldn't have been better. Yeah, I'm actually going to remove this just because it's been long stretched now. And you can pretty much re-pull your range like so. So this will be our new range. This will be our extreme liquidity. This is our 15-minute OBIF. Yeah, it is crucial that when you're looking at demand and supply, you really go down to the minute. Otherwise, you're going to see these random as reactions, and you're going to be like, oh, someone's selling. No one's selling. Price is simply just tapped a supply order block, which has been on the chart for a while. That's it. That's all it is. Yeah, this is my pre-planning here. I do like the liquidity curve forming from around here, which I would like to continue to form all the way up until around here. And should everything go well, we can get some form of entry in here. That'd be nice. A risk to reward. But yeah, this is our pre-planning for USD CAD. Asia highs have been swept, so have the lows. And yeah, we are in an area of supply, so we can expect rejection. It's very normal to get rejections. But yeah, that's it for this pair for now. I have my alert set. And there's also no real demand below us, like no clean demand. And we can validate this like so. Maybe here, and that would be it. And then if it is there, I doubt it's going to be backed by anything yet. So this is valid demand. We can definitely have this on our chart. This could be backed by something, to be fair. Let's we'll run our volume profile to double check this. No, quite insignificant demand, so I won't pay much attention to it. But I'll leave it on there just to see how the reactions occur. Yeah, that's it for this pair. maybe we get something, some very low time frame range which we can long up into our extreme. So leave that there, and we shall move on. GJ. Yeah, this was my attempted trade, which I got stopped out on break even. I'm going to remove this alert. Okay. That can go. This can go. That can go. We'll clean up the charts a little bit here. It's pretty funny. We kind of have equal lows up here and equal highs up here and equal lows down here. Just technically no, this has swept. No equal lows down below, but just equal highs above. This is our context. We are approaching a high time frame area of supply. We've also got our low up here. Make this dotted. Yeah, I can stay back. This is our market structure high. Right there. I feel like we'll touch it or maybe just SFP it. We kind of are forming something here. Like if I look at that, that is within DL tool. That is fine. I will allow that. And I feel like we would have swept some form. Yeah, we would have definitely swept whatever extremes or, you know, extreme supply or extreme liquidity was up here. Proof is here. Perfection. And we would have had some form of extreme liquidity here. So I'd kind of look for shorts in this environment. I would pretty much look for shorts. Liquidity curve is not the best, not the worst. No real demand, I believe. I can always be wrong. Yeah, not really. It's kind of all been apart from this, it's kind of all being swept, and then you've got that, but that's just way too long, way too low time frame in relation to the size of the range. And so I'm not too worried. But right now, ideally, GBP JPY, I would like some form of local distribution, but not really seeing anything at the moment. So I am kind of going to wait. We might have something above us here as well. Very sneaky. So I'm going to check what this looks like on a lower time frame. If there's nothing clean on a lower time frame, then this supply can, I was going to say can jam itself, but technically this might be valid. Yeah, it looks like everything here on the lower time frame got mitigated, unless we have some overlapping structure there. Ooh. Now we are talking. Now we are talking. Damn. Right, so we can expect a mitigation up here. We most certainly can. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll get it, but we can expect something. So I will leave that there, and it is overlapping structure. I'm actually going to remove that top bit, and I'll just keep this. Because if it breaks through this, then it's not like it's going to get held up around here. It's very, it's just not clean supply, whereas this is very clean overlapping supply. Therefore, this is our most refined supply POI that we can find. So I'm cooking today, guys, ladies and gents. I'm putting on an absolute clinic for you all. Maybe I get rewarded with my or rewarded for my efforts with a pristine setup and confirmation. Let's see. But yeah, for GBP JPY, that's it in terms of pre-planning for now. I do want to see a distribution form. We've also kind of SFP'd this yeah, you sort of broke structure barely, but it is the weakest break of structure that you can find. But yeah, anyways, we will move on. GBP NZD. We're forming a, this was our most optimal reverse level, which I did mark out. There's just, if it's closes through this, then we can pretty much expect, like, this is all you can see from here. This is beautiful liquidity, which means that you can kind of just see it go all the way up. So if we don't hold this level, we're gonna rotate all the way up to here, and that's a fact. If we do hold this level, then we will at least form some form of distribution, hopefully, and complete this distribution range. It's also to know that given we have already mitigated this supply, we might not come back up and we might just form an internal model. That is also very possible. But for now, I'm going to still wait and see what price decides to do, and hopefully it does come back up to these highs up here. All right, Euro GBP. Ran through this demand, but we do have more refined demand below us. Technically, if we have made a lower low, then we can use this as a... I think I mentioned this the other day. Not too fond of it. Yeah, I'm kind of going to let price do its thing. Even up here, was this actual distribution? Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, that's a valid distribution. Very nice distribution, actually. Yeah, not really anything there until I get a mitigation of that demand. Euro NZD. Contextually, we're all the way up here. We have entered this supply. Could we distribute? We could. We really could. So far, I'm liking this. So far, I'm liking this a lot, actually. We'll see what happens. But this is really looking like that just textbook distribution model forming. But we will see. All right, next USD against the Swiss franc. What is going on here? Yeah, this was a crazy model, which confirmed, man, and I missed the entry on here. Damn, and it just confirmed itself as well. I am so good at just pinpointing these out but not taking them. There you go, bang. Model complete. Yeah, I do think that we will get a return to that 2-day OBIF. That is the plan. This has now completed itself, so we no longer require it. I just like having this up when the model has completed, just like for my own vision. That way I can see, oh yep, we distributed here, and now we are in a demand POI, which has been mitigated. And we've also formed a miniature distribution in here. Look at that. Through all Asia today, wow. Didn't take this, but very nice. And Asia high also not taken. Fair enough. We did sweep extreme liquidity though. So like there's always trades you guys can take. And I'm also talking to myself at this point as well. We have respected supply, or are respected supply. And we will probably get a rotation at least to this low here. This will get taken. Yeah, it's kind of iffy for this pair. Kind of missed the opportunities on here twice. Twice, ref. That's twice. Let's have a look. Swiss franc. Yeah, still hovering. Very unlikely. The more this pair drags on, the more unlikely I find that, unless there's some crazy market manipulation, which I don't think so by now. But I don't think we might get a move back up to here anytime soon, especially if we respect and distribute along here, which we kind of did already. My apologies. And I am seeing some form of distribution occur here. Could take a cheeky scalp here. Very cheeky scalp. If I'm half aware. Asia lows are really, really appealing to me down here. Look at that. This could be good. I will definitely monitor this. It is low time frame, don't get me wrong, but it favors our context. In terms of extreme liquidity, I don't think we'll see anything. No, not really. It's kind of just this supply in which I expect to get mitigated. We're also distributing here on a very low time frame, but not a chance I'll be taking that. That's for sure. But point being, if we get a clean break in here, there's no reason for me not to take it. We are building some nice lows. And also decent range and efficiency. That is really nice. This has been mitigated. Yeah, I am liking this. All right, we'll see what happens there. Alerts have been set. USD JPY. I already see some supply created. Yeah, I feel like this is simply going to be a higher time frame model, potentially. Definitely not a CME gap. I feel like I should have done this this recording with a chef's hat on, considering how well I have cooked. USD JPI, we'll come back to it. Don't like how we've created supply in here. This whole thing might get invalidated pretty soon. However, we have ran through this far out. Alright, we'll check on that later. That alert can go. USD JPY, we were at, I believe. Yes, we were in this range. Which is just way too low. If this is just prime example of a tap 2 and 3 being very close to each other, and this will just be a tap 2 on a higher time frame, which we can expect price to come back to later on. Is there a reason why it's not a... There we go. Technically, this would be a valid 18-hour OBIF. Yeah, that's very valid. Very, very valid. Like, you have an ever so slight mitigation, but you can kind of move it there. If I really want, I can do that, yeah. That is fine. And we front ran this demand as well, so just gonna let this pair move around for a little bit more. Like, you could, if you really want, you could start drawing a range here, but you're just in an area of nothing. Next. These pairs are already, liquidity is just getting lower and lower as I get down this this chart. Yeah, not interested really here. We do have demand below us, we'll see what happens. However, demand here is taking account of context, so proceed with caution. NZ CAD. Let's have a look there. This has completed itself. Well, technically it's failed itself, but it did reach extremes, which was your chance to de-risk and take profits. If there was any demand there. I will be monitoring this demand. And contextually speaking, yeah, we were forming a potential accumulation model, so definitely look for longs here. Definitely look for longs when we are approaching this. As of now, patience, patience, patience. Ran through this. And yeah, potential accumulation model here. We will see. We will see. We have rejected nicely off this POI here, very nicely, and now I'm kind of just expecting to see price come back to that supply POI to test it once more, but we might not come back until we mitigate some demand. That's it for this. Let's go to gold. This is still on. This is a supply POI to monitor. And I don't think this has been mitigated on a lower time frame. Looks pretty clean thus far. Not bad. Pretty clean POI here. Very clean POI. Nice. Yeah, nice. We've obviously got our alerts set already. Yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to see what price decides to do. I feel like it's still a little bit too early to pinpoint extremes. We did mitigate this demand, FYI. But for me, this will be extreme liquidity. Like when you look at the time frame of this range, this has to be extreme liquidity. We also got to look at these like in relative to the range. Yeah, that's nice. That's clean. Very clean. Very clean. Watch out for gold. Silver, it's fairly similar. Fairly similar. Same, but maybe a little bit different. We have our demand here. And we also have extreme liquidity. Silver's actually looking a little bit cleaner than what gold is. But they're both pretty clean, to be fair. So we will see what price does here. Yeah, I'm just waiting for silver to see what it's going to want to do. Last but not least, oil. Ladies and gents. Range completely invalidated here. Completely invalidated. Do have supply above. Yeah, clean supply above us, very clean supply. Very clean. Can definitely expect a slow climb back up and form some form of distribution in here. That is kind of it for now. If we scan back through these pairs one more time. Yeah, how does this go? Yeah, it's just too, like, we've mitigated the supply. Should have probably got a yeah, I'm not really liking what the pair's doing right now. Like, technically speaking, we have, if for whatever reason it decides to reverse now and break structure, you have to put your stop loss below here, and you will attain, you probably could scalp 2.91. We'll put our market structure high here. But you need a very, very convincing break. Like, very convincing break. Otherwise, I am not interested. USD CAD. We are getting close here as well for a potential entry. Yeah, we can kind of just wait a bit now. That's it for today, guys. I'm going to end this right here, right now, while I continue to monitor the charts to see what happens. There we go. Local distribution here completed itself. Yeah, it's not looking likely. This is probably the most likely at the moment. Where was it? Euro USD, it was. Yeah, it was USD CAD. Yeah, USD CAD is kind of looking the most likely for now, but as I said, the thing I don't like about it is that both Asia high and low has been taken, so the liquidity targets aren't the best. But yeah, we'll monitor this closely. Ideally, I would just like a bit more of a cleaner return to zone coming into this. It does look clean on the low time frame, though, so don't get me wrong there. But yeah, would like a sweep of this extreme liquidity and a mitigation of this extreme supply, then we could be on for a short there. So yeah, thank you for listening, viewing, watching. This will, you'll be watching this a day in advance because I'll be uploading it tomorrow. So yeah, thank you, and peace.